FIIs, Nigel, right? Well, in a big way.
It's what? Backstreet's back.
All right.
Yeah. Did they bring the money with them?
So Backstreet's back, all right, but seems so are the FIIs. Let's run you through the scripts piece that I've put together. The Indian indices, if you're just looking at it in the first half of the year, we were relative underperformers, right? The first half, that's the initial 2 months of the year. But then we bounce back, and we bounce back in style. And if you just compare us with our peers, well, we were underperformers initially, but then just take a look at it. We turned outperformers. And if you're looking at it, well, a couple of those indices were doing well. Taiwan as well as South Korea. So I was wondering, did the FIIs, did they have something to do with it? Well, let's dig deeper. Then you'll say, no, Nigel, year to date, FIIs are still sellers. They're more or less flattish or mild sellers if you look at the flows from the FIIs in 2023. And it's far less, though, in what we saw in entire of 2022, when they sold close to around $7 billion hard. So if they were sellers, then how can they be playing a role in this big pullback? Well, you need to divide this data point into two halves. One is the initial performance, when it was underperformance that we saw. At that point of time, the FIIs, look at the month-wise data. They sold close to around $4 billion odd. But what happened post that is that they pumped in another $4 billion. And that perfectly tallies in with what we have seen, because that's the period when the markets did bounce back. But you'll say the flows are coming in there, but how do they compare with our peer groups? Well, just pull up some of those indices that we were just talking about. South Korea and Taiwan, well, they were outperformers, right, earlier. And they got the big money. But take a look at what's happened after that. South Korea, well, the flows turned more or less flattish. While from the Taiwanese index, you're seeing $2.5 billion of selling. And just take a look at the Indian markets. We have gained most of that, close to around $4 billion of inflows. So it seems that, that the FIIs, they have had an impact on this market. Yes, you'll argue valuations were on our side. You have earnings momentum as well. But the FIIs played a role. So Backstreet's back, all right. But so are the FIIs. The only question is, the Backstreet boys are going to go back. Hopefully, the FIIs hang on out here.
All right, Nigel, thanks a lot for that. That looks interesting. You look like the sixth Backstreet boy out there when you're standing with those five. But, Ashwini, the point is well made. The FIIs saw valuations, attractive in India. There was a fair amount of sell-off. Then India looked like one of the best macro